Good morning, students. It is Junior Economics. Previous class we discussed scarcity definition and its features and its superiority. Present we are discussing about criticisms of scarcity definition. This definition also criticized by other economists. So actually Samuelson criticized Robbins' scarcity definition. Later he gave another definition to economics, that is growth definition. So in here first, how Samuelson criticized scarcity definition. So present we are observing. So welfare concept indirectly. So generally Robbins in his definition explained wants are unlimited, resources are limited, because economics explain how can utilize these scarce resources to get maximum satisfaction. Previous welfare definition also concentrate how economical activities can improve welfare. That means both are concentrated on same concept. So Samuelson, that is Marshall, concentrated on welfare. Robbins concentrated on maximum satisfaction. But finally, both are concentrated on same concept. So that is economics, that is welfare concept indirectly. That is Marshall concentrate welfare directly, but Robbins in his definition concentrate on welfare indirectly. So there is no difference. Okay? Other economists criticize. So there is no difference between Marshall's welfare definition and Robbins' scarcity definition. Both are either directly or indirectly concentrate on welfare. So there is no difference between previous definition and present definition. So next one, second, economics is a neutral between ends. Means Robbins explained in his definition, economics is always neutral between ends. That means economics never explain which is good or which is bad. Already we observed some production, alcohol, drugs, these productions are not promoting welfare, but economics explaining these things also. So in his opinion, that is Robbins' opinion, always economics is neutral between ends, and economics never says or never explains which is good or which is bad. But Samuelson, it is not good. So economics always explains what is good. So economics not only explains about problems, and economics also providing some solutions. So that means Robbins explained economics is always neutral between ends, but here he criticized it is not good. So economics never neutral between ends. Economics also explains which is good or which is bad, how one country economically developed. So like this. Next, economic growth and economic development. When we observe Robbins' scarcity definition, he explained because of scarcity of resources present every country facing economic problems. That means he always concentrates on scarce resources, and in his opinion, every country facing scarcity of resources. That means he never concentrates on economic growth and economic development. Maybe, for example, present a country facing scarcity of resources, later maybe in future it will be developed. So at the time they get sufficient resources. So scarcity of resources is not a permanent problem. Maybe present we are facing scarcity, maybe in future we get sufficient resources. So that means Samuelson criticized Robbins always concentrate on scarcity of resources, but resources are scarcity now, but in future. So because of economic growth and economic development, maybe that country can get sufficient resources. So that is more important. Always concentrate on scarcity of resources. It is not good. Maybe present these are scarcity, but in future that country can get proper. So that means must and should we concentrate on economic growth and economic development. So last criticism. How best you utilize them is more. So Samuelson explained how we are utilizing the resources is more important. So how much resources are available is not important. How we are utilizing these resources to get maximum satisfaction. So that is more important. For example, when we observe some countries are having sufficient resources, but they are not using. For example, when we observe India having sufficient labor force, but country is not using this labor force in a proper manner because we are observing unemployment, poverty, income inequalities, all these things. And here having sufficient labor force, but we are not using in a proper manner. So that is how to utilize the resources is more important. For example, when we ask a failure student, why you fail in subject, lack of time. When we ask another same question to topper, so how you score maximum marks? He explained, I utilize the time in a proper manner. But both are having same time. Top students utilize the time in a proper manner, failure students not utilizing the time in a proper manner. So that is the difference. So that means scarcity of resources is not important, and this is not major problem. When we don't know how to utilize the resources, automatically that country can face economic problems. So these are the criticisms of Robbins' scarcity definition. So in this way, Samuelson criticized Robbins' scarcity definition. Later he gave another definition, that is growth definition, but it is not in our syllabus. Okay. So our next topic is deductive method and inductive method. So here economics using different methods to formulating principles or laws. Laws means LAWS laws. Generally economics, so many laws are there. Law of demand, law of supply, law of diminishing marginality, law of equal marginality, law of variable proportion. So in this way, several laws. So these laws or principles are prepared with the help of a few methods. So generally economics using different methods to prepare different type of formulas and laws. So in the same way here also we are using different type of methods. So in this one, first one is deductive method. So deductive method. So this deductive method also known as abstract method or hypothetical method. It is also known as abstract method or hypothetical method, and it is different names. This method followed by classical economists. This method followed by classical economists. So in this method, they concentrate on general to particular, and based on some general things. When we prepare a particular formula, so general assumptions, general facts. So generally, it is depends upon some assumptions. These are not 100% facts. For example, when we have economics, in economics there is no 100% facts. So these are some assumptions. So these are imaginations. So we are imagining. So in this, no, there is no 100% facts. So some imaginations. So that means here in this method, in this deductive method, so concentrate on some general things. We can prepare a particular formula or principle or law. So that is known as the deductive method. And based on general assumption, based on general things, we can prepare a principle or we can prepare a law. So at the time that is known as the deductive method. For example, when we observe two persons visit market, so every person try to purchase more quantity at less prices. So generally when we observe 2 or 3 persons visit market, so they are purchasing vegetables or any other things. So every customer, every person try to purchase more quantity at low prices. So that means consumer is a rational man. So that means just we are assuming, is it 100% correct? No. So we are assuming that is always consumer is a rational man. That means always consumer try to get maximum satisfaction with limited money. So that is imagination. But is it 100% correct? We don't know. Maybe some majority people are prefer to get maximum satisfaction. So already I told there is no 100% facts in economics like physics or chemistry. So it's just imagination. So that is general to particular. And then based on general things. For example, when 2-3 persons are within the market, every person try to purchase more quantity at less prices. Based on this thing, we can easily identify consumer is a rational man. That means consumer always try to get maximum satisfaction with a limited money. So that is known as the general to particular. For example, law of diminishing marginal utility. So what is law of diminishing marginal utility? So law of diminishing marginal utility explains when we consume a commodity units continuously, the additional utility will be reduced. That is law of diminishing marginal utility. That is when a consumer consumes a commodity units continuously, the additional utility will be reduced continuously. For example, when we consume apples, first apple gives 5 gives utility, second apple gives 4 gives utility. So generally it is imagination. So for example, we can't observe utility. So generally we are saying, so when I consume an apple, it gives 5 gives utility. So when I purchase second one, it gives 4 gives utility. So that means we are assumption. So we are assuming. So because general things, that is law of diminishing marginal utility says, when we consume a commodity units continuously, additional utility will be reducing or reducing continuously. That is law of diminishing marginal utility. So based on law of diminishing marginal utility, present government collecting progressive taxation. So that is based on law of diminishing. That is when we consume a commodity units continuously, additional utility will be reduced. In the same way, when a person gets more and more income, its utility will be decreases. How? Because of collecting taxes. That is income tax, property tax, like this, indirectly. That is different type of taxes. So that means based on law of diminishing marginal utility, here we prepared progressive taxation. So that is deductive method. And based on general things, when we prepare different policy, for example, progressive taxation. So worldwide every country follows taxation system. So how this taxation system is prepared? Based on law of diminishing marginal utility. So that means when we prepare a laws or principle with the help of general things, we can prepare a particular formula, particular laws or particular principle. So that is deductive method. So in this deductive method, first one is selecting the problems. So for example, law of demand, law of supply, law of equal marketability, law of variable proportion, number of laws are there. So first of all, we are selecting problems. So before preparing different type of methods through deductive method, so selecting the problem. So formulating assumptions. So generally in economics, every theory or every laws depends upon some assumption. Assumptions means these are facts. When we accept these facts, we can observe. For example, law of diminishing marginality. Already we know, according to law of diminishing marginality, when we consume a commodity units continuously, additional utility will be reduced. But before this thing, you accept utility can be measured numerically. But it is assumption. It is imagination. So there is no proper measurement. There is no proper instrument to measure utility. Just we are assuming. So every commodity gives utility. This utility can be measured numerically. So that is assumption. So that means in economics, every principle or every law depends upon some assumptions. So when we accept this assumption, we can identify or we can find out that principle or the law. So that is formulating assumptions. So next one, formulating hypothesis. So formulating hypothesis and examples. So with the help of explanation, when we explain numerically, for example, law of demand, law of supply. So we are explaining hypothesis and examples with example. For example, law of demand, when price increases, quantity demand will be increases. So we prepare a table. So that is hypothesis. So that means formulating hypothesis. And we are preparing numerical explanation and verifying the hypothesis. And after the preparation of hypothesis, we are verifying. So is it correct or not? So our explanation is correct or not? So that is known as the hypothesis. So this is known as deductive method. Another one is inductive method. So already previous we observed deductive method. So present it is inductive method. So it is also known as historical and empirical method. So in this method, particular to general. So in previous method, general to particular, but it is quite opposite, particular to general. And based on a particular things, we can prepare a loss. For example, already we know law of demand. So what is law of demand? Other things remaining constant. When a price increases, its quantity demand will be decreases. When price decreases, its quantity demand will be increases. So generally, when we observe any person, every person, because of man is ready to get more satisfaction. Already we know man is purchasing more and more goods at less prices. So that means law of demand explains when a commodity price reduces, consumer prefer to purchase more quantity. When price increases, he is prefer to purchase less quantity. So it is a common phenomenon when we observe in any market. People are prefer to purchase more quantity at less prices, less quantity at more prices. So this is the particular thing. So based on this particular thing, we can finally prepare law of demand. And based on a few persons' ideas, based on a few persons' explanation, we can generally law of demand. So according to law of demand, other things remaining constant. When price increases, its quantity demand decreases, and when price decreases, its quantity demand will be increases. So at the same time, law of supply. So law of supply explains the relationship between price and its supply. So generally, price and demand have inverse relationship. Price and supply have direct relationship. So generally, when we have the law of supply. So what is law of supply? According to law of supply, producer prefer to sell more quantity at higher prices, less quantity at lower prices. So that is law of supply. Why? What is the reason? So every producer expecting more profit. So because he is ready to sell more quantity at higher prices, less quantity at lower prices. So that is either law of demand or law of supply. So based on a particular explanation, we can identify a general thing. So that is law of demand, law of supply. These two are best examples for inductive method. So these also depends upon some problem. So first one, selection the problem. Here also in the process of preparing different laws or principles or other things, selecting the problem. So first we selecting the problem. Selection the problem. So later collection of data. So collection of data. So already I told numerical explanation. For example, when we have at the time of price, quantity, demand. ₹5 price, quantity demand one commodity. So 4 rupees price, quantity demand 2. 3 rupees price, quantity demand 3. So 2 rupees price, quantity demand 4. 1 rupee price, quantity demand is 5. Like this. And this is data or data. And that is law of demand can explain numerically. So at the time of 5 rupees price, consumer prefer to purchase one quantity, one commodity. So at the time of 4 rupees price, the consumer is prefer to purchase 2 commodities. So that is the collection of data. So next, observation. So here we are observing. So according to law of demand, changes or not. For example, when we are observing this explanation, when price reduces continuously, its quantity demand increases continuously. So next, generalization. So finally we can identify, oh, is it correct? So law of demand, law of supply. So it is correct. So generalization. So these are the two different methods followed by economics to prepare different laws or principles. So this is the deductive method and inductive method.